Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're taking on a topic that literally every professional has to deal with. But let's be honest, very few actually master the art of influential project reporting. We're going to look at how to transform those regular status updates from a dreaded, time-consuming chore into a seriously powerful strategic tool. If you've ever spent hours carefully crafting an update only to feel like you're just chucking information into a black hole, well, you're in the right place. This step-by-step guide is going to fundamentally change how you communicate at work.
So let's just start right off with the elephant in the room. Why are your status reports being ignored? I mean, most project managers, and frankly anyone leading a team, have this intense love-hate relationship with status reports. You spend all this time gathering data from different departments, right? You carefully write up the summary, organize the timeline, you finally hit send to upper management, and then silence. Absolute crickets. The reports are produced, they're sent off, and then they are quietly, predictably ignored. You don't get replies, you don't get decisions, and you definitely don't get that support you were subtly hinting at. It's a universal frustration, but why exactly does this happen?
Well, to understand why, we need to look at what's going wrong. Let's dive right into Section 1, the status report trap and the checkbox reality.
Look, on paper, the ideal promise of status reports is that they are absolutely essential. We set up these regular updates because organizations genuinely crave visibility into the work, they promise us alignment across disjointed teams, and they establish a baseline of accountability. That's the dream, right? But the reality? When we treat these reports as just another box to check, they actively drain our time. Picture this, spending 3 solid hours compiling metrics on a Friday afternoon, knowing deep down it's just going to get buried in someone's overflowing inbox by Monday morning. Instead of providing crisp clarity, these routine updates just create noise. The real problem isn't the concept of a status report itself, it's exactly how we're executing them day to day.
There are a few major culprits behind all of that noise. First off, long narratives. If your reports include 3 paragraphs of project history, you've lost your reader immediately. Imagine an executive opening an email and seeing a massive wall of text detailing what happened last Tuesday. Their brain just shuts off. They literally do not have the time. Then, you've got overloaded dashboards packed with 20 different micrometrics. You're overwhelming people with raw data instead of giving them clear direction. Because, honestly, data without synthesis is just a burden. And what about those standard green, yellow, red updates? They are notoriously, dangerously vague. If a project is yellow, nobody actually knows what to do about it unless you explicitly define the friction. Instead of just saying, Project X is yellow, tell them exactly why. These bad habits don't inform anyone, they just pile onto the cognitive load of whoever opens the message.
So how do we fix this and break those bad habits? That brings us to Section 2, shifting your reporting mindset.
There is a core philosophical shift we have to make here. Listen to this. Status reports shouldn't just inform, they should influence. I really want to let that sink in for a second. When done right, status reports can actually be one of the most powerful tools in your entire project management arsenal. We have to completely stop thinking of them as passive, historical records of what happened over the last week and start actively treating them as levers to make things happen in the future. You are not a historian. You are the driver of the project.
The absolutely crucial point here is moving away from documenting everything. When you try to capture every single detail, every minor meeting, every tiny little bug fix, you're just filling inboxes. You're essentially handing your manager a giant haystack and asking them to find the needle. People will skim it at best, or, let's be real, skip it entirely. Instead, the focus has to be on highlighting what matters. A great report acts exactly like a flashlight. It illuminates precisely what needs to be discussed and resolved right now. The true goal of an exceptional report is that it sparks targeted conversations. It should practically pull the reader in by the collar and make it painfully obvious what needs their immediate attention.
Okay, now that we've got the mindset right, how do we actually execute this? Let's move to Section 3, the 3-step update guide.
This right here is your exact blueprint to replace those long, ignored narratives. This is the formula for a high-impact update. Step 1, highlight changes since the last update. Do not recount the whole history of the initiative. Only cover the delta. If a vendor signed a contract, just state that. If you're launching a software product, don't tell the team you had 4 routine sync-ups. Tell them the beta testing phase is officially complete and the bug volume dropped by 20%. Keep it ruthlessly focused on what has actually moved forward. Step 2, flag risks requiring attention. Do not hide the bad news. And whatever you do, don't bury it at the bottom hoping no one will notice. Elevate those roadblocks immediately. If a supply chain delay is going to push your launch out by 2 weeks, put that right at the very top. Leadership cannot help you remove obstacles if they don't even know those obstacles exist. And step 3, which is arguably the most critical, call out decisions needed and explicitly state from whom. Don't use the passive voice. Don't say, "We need a decision on the Q3 budget." That totally diffuses responsibility and everyone will just assume someone else is handling it. Instead, say, "Sarah, we need your approval on the Q3 budget by Tuesday in order to proceed with the media buy." This specific 3-step structure cuts completely through the noise, strips away the fluff, and instantly highlights the exact information your stakeholders need to move the project forward.
Almost ready to hit send? Not quite. Let's look at Section 4, the final pre-send check.
This is your ultimate litmus test. Right before you hit the send button on your next update, you must stop and ask yourself 2 very strict questions. Number 1, will this help someone make a better decision today? If the answer is no, your report is too passive. You've just written a diary entry, not a business update. Number 2, does it clearly signal where support is needed? If leadership can't read your update and instantly know exactly how to help you, you haven't done your job. You're leaving them guessing, and busy executives absolutely do not have time to guess. These 2 questions act as a strict accountability checkpoint to make sure you aren't falling right back into that old checkbox reality.
Look, if you run your update through those 2 questions and the answer is no, well, actually, it's not a report problem, it's a mindset problem. It means you're instinctively still trying to just inform rather than trying to influence. It means you need to pause, go back to the 3-step guide, and actively restructure your update. Rewrite the whole thing until it forces action. Remember, your goal isn't to prove that you've been working hard. Your goal is to ensure the project gets exactly what it needs to succeed.
Which brings us to our final thought. Will your next update just fill an inbox, or will it actually drive a decision? You now have the fundamental mindset shift, the practical 3-step guide, and the rigorous pre-send checklist to completely transform your reporting. The choice is totally yours. Stop documenting every little detail. Start highlighting the pivotal moments, and turn your next status update into a real catalyst for action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to apply this exact framework to the very next update you write